Nigerian Upstream Petroleum and Regulatory Commission has issued petroleum prospecting licenses, also known as OPL, to 102 operators for 48 marginal oil fields in the Niger Delta region. Now, this is in fulfillment of the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act. Arise correspondent Onyi Sunday tells us more.
To the awardees, to the glory of God.
Considered a major milestone since the last award of marginal oil fields licenses in 2010, the award to 48 marginal oil fields located in Nigeria's Niger Delta region is geared towards boosting Nigeria's oil production.
The impact of the upward swing in the crude oil price is not reflecting as expected in the nation's revenue earnings due to disruptions in our national oil production, owing to incidences of crude oil theft and other operational challenges.
The implementation of the PIA is in top gear. Consequently, the new awardees should note that their assets will be fully governed by the provisions of the PIA. As a result, each successful field will be issued a PPL in line with the PIA. This is a complete departure from what used to be there.
In line with the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum and Regulatory Commission also unveiled the implementation template for the Host Communities Development Trust Fund. This replaces all existing agreements between the host communities and oil and gas operators.
It simply means we have started getting close to the light, because the non-engagement of the host communities in the past gave birth to militancy. Let's not lose sight to it. The non-recognition of the host communities led to oil theft. All the evil devices experienced in the region was because of the non-engagement. Therefore, today's event unfolds the change of attitude, the change of habit, and above all, an increase in the economic status.
Producing over 2 million barrels per day is the target, but Nigeria produces below 1.5 million barrels per day. The sector is bedeviled by oil theft. The NUPRC believes the renewed engagement with oil-producing communities in line with the PIA makes them major stakeholders who will strive to protect oil assets.
People that hold OPLs and OMLs, they have a responsibility. So the first call of responsibility is theirs. If there's a spill or environmental degradation, they should take care of it. However, if they don't, they are required to put down a fund that allows the Commission to access that funds and do that on their behalf. On the community space, what we're trying to make sure is, vandalization. We don't want, you hear all the stories about crude theft along all the pipeline. How do we stop vandalization? And that's to make the community vested stakeholders. They know that this money comes to them, and it's not just people that do the crude oil theft. It's for everyone.
In the global oil and gas sector, energy transition is the buzzword as developing countries clamor for a shift from fossil fuels. Nigeria, however, is on a mission to shore up its oil production quota.
Our transition fuel is gas. And because we have the abundant gas and oil resources in this country, we need those resources to help us transition out of those resources, basically. So what we are doing here is in conjunction. It's actually a collaborative effort that we're making to ensure that we're able to transit.
Geared to increase local content capacity, all licensees are indigenous companies. A harmonious working relationship with the host communities while oil and gas exploration and production activities are ongoing to boost safe oil production will be a true test of the Petroleum Industry Act in the coming years. Onyi Sunday, Arise News.
Well, for more on this, we're now being joined by Dr. Benjamin Tamaranebi, who is the National President of Host Communities of Nigeria.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on News Night. Well, this is a groundbreaking event, with 48 marginal oil fields given to 102 operators. Let's start with the the implementation template for Host Communities Development Trust Fund. I'm sure you'll be very interested in that. What exactly are your expectations with this new template?
Well, thank you very much. I think, first of all, we need to appreciate Mr. President, who gave us the enabling environment by giving us that hearing the voice of the host communities. Yes, there are a lot of interventions that have been going on, but communities have not benefited any. Talk about the 3%. Communities have not benefited, but this one, 3%, yes, inadequate, but it's going direct to the community, and we're going to do a lot for community sustainable development.
What exactly, in what specific areas do you expect this 3% to host comms, to make a difference in the lives of the communities?
Yeah, a lot of, I think we want to change the narrative.
Right.
First of all, we want to change the narrative. Nothing has been trickled at the communities, despite all the funds and billions that have been pumped out to communities through the state governors. And this time around, the fund is going direct to the communities. And we want to ensure that this fund should be converted to developmental stride. That our area within the 5 years, we want to see that our communities will be developed. It is our own personal gain. If we lose or we play with the fund, the community will not cry out, because the opportunity has given to us for use the little money to change the face of our community. And that is what we aim for over 20 years. And with this industry, petroleum sector, which have lasted for 63 years in this country, nobody have taken about the community before. But today, it has been unveiled that we have a stake in the industry.
Okay, beyond this 3% for the host communities, I mean, let's talk about this oil fields. After 18 years of the last bid rounds, what does this mean for host communities? I know there have been agitations in the past for rights of first refusals in the bidding process. Did you see any change 18 years after? And again, what does this mean for the host communities?
Well, as I will say, we the host community would have given the first of right of refusal, but we have not given the chance. But as usual, as what is happening in our environment, we ought to benefit maximally. At least 1 or 2 should be given the host community to operate. These are marginal fields. Why are we being deprived? But it looks as if we don't have the capacity. But those who are given, they don't really have the same capacity. They are partnering with other people. We want to partner with people that communities will be able to think and take this for community development,
so what do you
for
think
regional
has
development.
What do you think has stopped this from happening, from materializing?
I think we applied for, for instance, when I came as the national president, we applied as own, but we are not being called upon.
Why?
I don't know. And I believe that the system, people doesn't believe the capacity of the host community, because we know, by giving them some of these marginal to manage, we're going to curb or arrest this crude oil theft, vandalization as well. But they are not thinking of those things. Like, look at the bill, the act that just come into play.
Yes.
They have not considered the umbrella body of OSCOM. What are the roles this OSCOM will play that will help to partner with government? They have not given significant role. We are talking about conflict and resolution, where, because it's sensitive, host community have to play that role. Surveillance. You cannot neglect the community. You must have to bring in community surveillance into play. We apply that 50% of it should be given to host communities.
Great. Finally, in just 1 minute, so 30 seconds if you can, how do host communities like yourself actually hope to address oil theft? I mean, you just mentioned that. In practical terms, what are you going to be doing?
Is it not happening in our communities? Those who are operating and sabotaging the economy of this country, they are from our communities. Just because we are not being included. But now they have to pencil host community part of it. Communities part of it. But it must to call them a name. It must address the leadership. And that is the key issue on it, which they have also failed to address. We fought. You remember what happened in the National Assembly?
Yes.
These are things that came into play. But we are trying to see that, to arrest such issues, you must be able to look at the leadership that you appoint with hand We point to the person
Okay,
or the group of people.
somebody should take
Yeah, of course.
responsibility.
Not a divided
Okay.
house
Of course.
as host
All right.
communities.
Thank
Those
you
are some
so
of the
much.
key issues we are talking about.
All right, thank you very much, High Chief Benjamin Style, for joining us on
Tamaranebi.
Newsnight.
Thank you.
Thank you.